We learned that Vegas knows what they're doing with these lines.
They nailed it.
Yeah.
The Raiders came out here last week to Soldier Field, didn't want to play. The Bears killed them. The Bears flew out to Los Angeles. I don't know what happened, but are we okay?
We're good. Audio's good.
We're great. Sorry about that.
And we're good.
Okay.
We're okay.
All right.
We weren't good. It was kind of like the Bears game, right? We weren't good. Then we got good for a minute. Now we're fine.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Wasn't a great analogy, but no, the audio was not working at first. To an extent.
One of these days we'll learn to hit that green button I say to press every time, but we still never do.
Well, you know what we could do? Honestly, there's 30 seconds left in the game. We could just run the open again and start over if you want.
No,
we're good.
We're all right.
So, Carm.
Yes.
Had a tough night tonight.
All right. Okay.
I mean, look, we got to address the elephant in the room here because the people want to hear from you.
Right.
As the Bagent bandwagon leader, where are you at now on your Bagent-o-meter?
So, look, it got rocky out there tonight, and I think Tyson did get shook at one point here when things started to go sideways. As far as I'm concerned, look, the Bears' problems tonight. If you want a point at 17, that's fine. But he would be on my list about 178. They didn't tackle. They didn't. The coaching staff has got to look themselves in the mirror on everything that happened out there tonight. From dialing up Trent Taylor on the first drive, it was great. You threw a bomb to Mooney. Let's go. Let's stretch the field. And then all of a sudden, we're going to be a genius and get Trent Taylor involved. And then, I mean, defensively. I don't know. Perhaps you want to send 5, send 6, do something to get Justin Herbert out of his comfort zone. Right. Like, come on. Now, look, Tyson Bagent was making his second NFL start. If Bears fans want to say that he sucked, go back to Fields. Okay, that's fine. And they are going to do that. And I have said all along that when Justin's healthy, Justin should start, and Justin will start. I didn't see anything tonight that's putting me out on 17 that he can't play. I'm not there at all. What are you laughing at?
I did something you told me specifically not to do, and that's touch my mic. I can't help it. I'm an idiot.
Okay, let's stay focused here. This is a very serious show.
Yes, no, I get it.
Game
is officially over.
Whenever you guys are done talking about the quarterback that had no impact on this game, let me know and I'll join the show.
Thank you. Chargers 30, Bears 13.
Yeah, but we're not gonna have Carm go on a Bagent Mania tour for a week and not address it to our fans. I mean, we're having fun with it. We know how much you love Tyson Bagent.
Fine.
Well, I mean, yes, of course he was fine for a backup.
Yeah,
nobody's
that's
blaming.
What he is.
We're not blaming him for this loss, but everything centers around the quarterback conversation in the city. Sure, we can talk about how the defense can't get to the can't get to Justin Herbert, of course, but everything is about the quarterback here. And what you saw tonight with Tyson Bagent, obviously, is a guy that has a lot of limitations, can't keep up in a shootout of this magnitude on the road right now. He can't, and I don't know why you're making that face. He cannot. I mean, you're literally putting
Tyson Bagent can't keep up with a shootout versus the Bears. I mean, dude.
I think what Carm wants to say, and he's probably right, is that Justin Fields wouldn't come back tonight either.
Who was coming back tonight?
Yeah.
What quarterback with what was going on right there was going to come back, which is part of the reason why there is still hope that Justin could do it, because he hasn't been given the best opportunity to play in the league. However, look, okay, as far as I'm concerned, Bagent had one horrible throw early, okay? That was, and I thought that was a miscommunication with DJ. I don't know what happened on that play. I'd like to hear what he's going to say. And late, some of the fourth down calls, look, when you're asking the guy to throw the 7,000th 2-yard out where they're coming back, they're going to jump the route. And it throws the ball down the field to Mooney. Mooney drops the ball. People are saying that's a hospital ball. I don't know. A lot of NFL receivers are going to catch that pass. Bagent did not have a great night. He didn't have a horrible night. Okay, and this doesn't have to be an indictment on Tyson Bagent, but the point is, and then I'll let Hoge get into the actual football conversation of the night, is to win in this league, you have to have quarterbacks that can keep up in a game like this.
Even if there's limitations to your roster, the Bears at some point in their franchise have to find a quarterback that can play this dance. In the Super Bowl, the Eagles had the best defense in football last year. They still gave up 35-plus points last year. So you've got to be able to score points. So when Justin Fields returns, which is hopefully next week, he's got to answer this question of, is he going to be your guy going forward? Because at the end of the day, you got to have a quarterback that can battle in these kind of shootouts. And I don't care what roster limitations you have to be able to do it at some point. And if you can't, the Bears have to find that guy that can. That's it.
NBC just ended a banner night for the broadcast by putting the wrong final score on the screen. Mix that in with the lack of replays and weird conversation about Tyson Bagent in the second half as if he was winning by 30 points.
Well, they had all that stuff. Yeah, they had it dialed up.
You don't just put it up there, even if
What'd they put the score up at us?
30-15.
Oh, they didn't get that 2-point conversion.
No, they did not. It was
they were right there.
Yeah,
it was close.
Not that I was hoping there was some miracle situation where the Bears covered.
I mean, to me, the biggest takeaway from tonight, as far as where the Bears are going forward, it's not a big secret here, but they can't get lined up right.
Okay, that's where I'm gonna. Can I start the show now?
Yes, go ahead.
Because this is what I think really matters. This ain't it, Flus. This whole era is being defined by ugly, non-competitive losses and very few wins, all of which that are coming against bad quarterbacks. Name the quarterbacks the Bears have beaten: Trey Lance, Davis Mills, Mac Jones, Sam Howell, and Brian Hoyer.
Right.
Those are your wins. Tonight you didn't play Brian Hoyer. You played a real quarterback, one who had been struggling, but he's still a real-ass quarterback. Didn't have a chance. Couldn't line up properly. Pre-snap penalties. Stupid plays after the whistle. Bad play calls. Why are you running an end around to Trent Taylor? A real head coach, when the offensive coordinator came into the meeting this week and said that was the second play we're running on our script, who said, no, that's not what we're running on the second play of the game. What is that? We're going to run that right at Khalil Mack?
Right. Correct. And then wonders, like, do you just take your hands off of everything that Getsy is calling, or do you think that Luke Getsy is a genius and these are great plays?
If you're going to say you sit in the offensive meetings, that can't be your second play of the game.
And what part of you thought that you could just sit back and somehow, some way, your secondary was going to hang in there against Justin Herbert?
Don't have either of your starting safeties, no pressure, bad tackling, undisciplined penalties throughout this entire game.
Yep.
It's all a reflection of the head coach.
Yep.
It all is. And this is too consistent. It's bad loss, ugly loss, not showing up against the Packers, who, by the way, are awful. That's a bad football team. Didn't show up in week one. Non-competitive against the Chiefs. Didn't even really basically show up in Kansas City whatsoever. And then we all get teased by these wins against also bad football teams that also happen to have bad quarterbacks, where they all seem to randomly put it together. But that's not the NFL. You have to be able to beat Justin Herbert. You have to be able to at least compete a little bit with Patrick Mahomes.
I can accept losing to the Chargers on the road with your backup quarterback. I don't accept losing to the Broncos, losing to the Packers. Those are the games you have to win, and your coaching has to put you over the top. Then you can afford a loss like tonight.
But they weren't competitive tonight. They didn't have a chance tonight. I picked the Chargers to win, but I picked them to win by 3. I thought the Bears would at least carry over the small building blocks we see here. And then it's just another reminder on national television that it's all false, that it's not really there. And it's across the board. They don't have enough talent. They've poured so many resources into this defense too. Like, if we're going to sit there a year and a half ago and say, all right, man, they're drafting 2 corners instead of the obvious offensive help they need. Well, then a year and a half later,
right,
the defense better be better. You spent 4 second-round picks on this defense the last 2 years, a third-round pick, millions and millions of dollars into the linebackers. You still cannot get to the quarterback. Your tackling still sucks. You have too many of these games where no one seems to be following this hits principle whatsoever. It's just not good enough. You cannot have the record you do as a head coach at this point and have games like this and have all of your wins against shitty quarterbacks. That's what this era has been all about now for a year and a half.
Right, and he was.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah, go ahead.
we could go home at this point. I think that was all we needed to hear from this
No,
whole
that
postgame. But
was a phenomenal job by Adam Hoge to underline exactly
we
what
have
happened
a
tonight. Yes,
$100
Lawrence.
super chat from Austin Moore.
Whoa, Austin.
He says,
Wow.
backups, design, and officiating held the offense back. Coaching, all caps, held the defense back. Flus was out of the spotlight for a bit, but real firepower exposed the disconnect between the scheme and personnel. Waiting for Warren to make his presence felt and change our perception.
Well, and that's the one guy we really haven't heard from here this whole season.
Thank you,
with
Austin.
all the different turmoil that's gone on with Kevin Warren standing in the box, and he's showing his frustration live on TV here tonight.
Well, we shouldn't be hearing from Kevin Warren. That's not his place to come
I want
down.
to know exactly what he thought of SoFi Stadium tonight.
Did you see that?
Did like the wind tunnel?
That moment where he was kind of just sighing or whatever. Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I regret not running the Big Ten right now.
Yeah. Look, it's all on the table as far as the coaching staff and the roster building that is incredibly evident. The Bears are in the bottom 3 in the NFL of getting to the quarterback. How do you win in the NFL? By getting to the quarterback. Yeah, right.
It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And you can't say that it's like, I'm not saying they have great players there, but they have good enough players. They should accidentally hit the quarterback every once in a while. Like TJ Edwards is the only one that really made Justin Herbert feel anything tonight. Okay? And that's what it's about. It's not always just about getting the sacks. You have to make the quarterback jittery. You have to make the quarterback think that, oh my God, I might take a hit on any given play. And they don't do that ever.
Yeah, I just don't look at it like, look, you are 2-5. You are on national television. You are trying to show that you're worth something. Try, send 5, send 6, until you get there. Be creative, take risks. And the offensive side of the ball, hey man, I get it. It wasn't the greatest night for Tyson Bagent, but trying to eke out 4th and 1s, running the ball and calling the weak ass shit that was being called. Look, dude, let him play. If he throws 17 picks, who cares? He's an undrafted free agent from Shepherd University. Let's see what he can do. You're trying to eke out some score to try to get some measure of pathetic respect. Come on, man. You guys have nothing to lose. What ended up happening is you embarrassed the franchise on national television on Sunday night. Now 0 for their last 7 on Sunday nights. Did Jake Flanagan just spend money on the show?
Yeah, he had a great super chat while you were talking about whatever you were talking about with Bagent. Flusastrophe. Flusastrophe.
It was a flustastrophe. Flustastrophe. Yeah, I mean,
where was the Flusy fire tonight? He was all sweaty and excited
again,
the last couple of
weeks. I just don't know what you expected on a night like tonight. I'm sorry. Unless they were going to be able to get out to an early lead and try to dive into complimentary football like they did last week, where you're playing ball control, time of possession, running the ball with success, not making your quarterback have to do too much, and your defense isn't on the field. I mean, I know the time of possession ended up being close, but I'm sure it wasn't when the game was still in balance. You know, the Chargers were moving up and down the field. They're not going to, in a game like tonight with the quarterback where he is as a rookie D2 guy, he's not going to be able to keep up in a game like this. And your defense is holding on for dear life. They don't have Eddie Jackson or Jaquan Brisker out there as your safeties on the back end. You know, it's just, I understand you got to get to the quarterback to win the NFL, but you need a quarterback of your own to keep up in games like this. This is every week in the NFL. Big time quarterback play is what's going to win you games. You can have the best defense in the world. You're still going to give up 30 at some point when you get to the playoffs.
But to be honest, that's not a fair expectation for tonight. No one. If you would have told me that tonight was just going to be, Bagent has to keep up with Herbert, then I would have picked the Chargers.
Well, you should have. I mean,
no, that's not the problem. The defense sucks. Stop talking about the quarterbacks. They can't get a stop. They scored on their first 5 drives of the game. The Chargers
Oh, I
did.
get it. Trust me.
And it's not. It's just effort. It's tackling. If you want to have any prayer tonight, you can't put Bagent in that situation. And thinking that he was going to do anything more than he did would have been wrong. The defense should have done more. That was. I mean. That was what I'm disappointed about tonight. I expected better from that side of the ball.
And they had given up, they were averaging giving up 15 points a game. And if everyone's looking at it, well, yeah, that's true. But they're playing against.
But they had a good game against the Vikings a couple weeks ago. Like what Kirk Cousins did last week against the 49ers. Like that was actually like, oh, that's really the first time I was like giving them any credit for this recent stretch of success. Was when I saw what the Vikings did against the 49ers. I'm like, oh, okay, like, yes, Justin Jefferson wasn't playing, but they slowed down the Vikings. And then they didn't give themselves a chance tonight.
So, okay, let's talk that through. Flus found something for a second, right? Are we really
he found Brian Hoyer?
Yeah, right. But hold on. They slowed down the Vikings.
Yep.
You just underlined that.
Yep.
All right. So,
they were hanging on for dear life against Vikings. It wasn't like they were getting to Kirk Cousins. I mean, he was still getting the ball out.
But my point with that game was it was more obvious after the game to be like, what the hell were they doing on offense? Like that for opening play call with Fields, putting Fields in a bad spot, then Fields getting hurt. Like the defense did enough to win that game that day, and the other side did. Like I think the point you're trying to make is fair. It's just like Bagent never had a chance tonight. Like to ask him to try to keep up with Herbert
wasn't going to happen.
No.
Well,
so, but to Carr's point about just send 6. Then he's going to. Then you're going to have openings. You know what I mean?
Fine, but dude,
we just be bitching about something in a different way.
Okay, maybe we would be. But my point is this: you have no reason to not take chances. And if we want to just make it, if you want to take Flus out of it, in my mind, you could easily take him out of it if he did that. If he was more aggressive and they just got smoked because there just isn't enough talent. What do you want me to do as the head coach when you don't give me anybody who can get to the quarterback? I have to send 5. I have to send 6.
I disagree with that.
Which part?
You went out and got Yannick Ngakoue. I've said his name 3 times the whole season.
Yep.
So, okay. Yeah, but that's not are you saying they're not coaching Yannick Ngakoue right? Dude,
No,
he's got one job, get to the quarterback. Period. Right? Do you think they're not scheming him right? I'm open to hearing that if that's what you think.
Well, I mean, I think that's part of it.
Okay. I mean, it's true. Where's 91? I don't know. He looked exhausted to me tonight. That's the only time I noticed him, he was completely out of breath.
I mean, he signed DeMarcus Walker. He signed Yannick Ngakoue. Drafted 2 defensive tackles that, to me, just aren't making enough of an impact here. Every once in a while, you see a flash play. I think Pickens had that forced fumble tonight, right? Late in garbage time. Like, that's not enough. You needed one of these 2 kids to actually be a force. Like, all respect to Justin Jones, man. The ideal scenario is that one of these 2 defensive tackles, these young defensive tackles, would have taken his job by now.
Yes.
And it's not happening.
Yes. Which, look, I have 2 points on the defense. I think that you need to call it more aggressively, and I also think there's just simply not enough talent, at least up front. And when you're paying a lot, everything we said last year that they weren't going to do. You can't pay an off the ball linebacker. Well, that's why they let Roquan go. Well, then they went and paid an off the ball linebacker nearly $20 million a year. That's what they did.
I think the linebackers have been fine. It's the defensive line. I mean, clearly the pass rush is the problem. And like if we take the focus off the rookies, who you have to expect there's going to be a learning curve with those guys. To your point, Yannick Ngakoue, where's he been all year? DeMarcus Walker, where's he been all year? You know what I'm saying? Like Justin Jones, who had a good year last year on a bad team. Where's he been all year?
They've all had like one moment. Sometimes a couple of them had 2 moments. But we're almost halfway through this season, man.
Right.
Like it and there's just common sense stuff. Like to me, sometimes you could tell very early in the game how this thing's going to play out. That first drive was everything to me, right? Like, one, you just get the bad luck, kind of bad officiating on the first play. I love the call to go deep to Darnell Mooney on the first play.
Yep.
It works. The officials don't help you by blowing it dead, which sucks. But then the next couple plays, you learned everything you had to know. We're going to run end around to Trent Taylor on the next play. And then on third down, what do the Chargers do? A very common sense thing. Hey, we know the strength of their offensive line is on the right side. So let's take our two best players, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, and put them up against Larry Borom and Cody Whitehair. And they went right through that.
Yep.
Sometimes football is that easy, man. Sometimes it's just common sense stuff like that. And to me, the Bears, it's been bizarre to me. Like, Luke Getsy has these moments and these actually sometimes full games, like last week, where you're like, oh, everything here makes sense. This was good. And then two out of the last three games, I'm questioning. Against the Vikings, it was the first play from scrimmage. And tonight, it's the second play from scrimmage. Like, how in the world is that the play you run?
Right. And we've had this answer here since the first three games of the season. They made slight adjustments against Denver and Washington that opened up fields, albeit against defenses that have given up some points. I mean, I think Washington's defense is better than some give credit for. But regardless, we've had our answer on this coaching staff since early in the season. And look how bad the Packers are. They got the crap beaten out of them by the Packers. And that's embarrassing, to lose the way they lost to Denver. I'm sorry. Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy, I'm sure are nice guys, but cannot be in the future of this franchise once the season is over. They just can't be. I don't know what they're going to do with Justin Fields, and maybe he'll have a chance here to end the season and convince Ryan Poles that he's still his guy. But whatever they do, I don't care team-wise, personnel-wise, what they do when the season's over. They cannot run it back with this coaching staff when the season's over.
What percentage would you say that they come back?
Well, every game they win, I mean, pregame show, we're like joking about how many wins they can get. And like you mentioned, Minnesota now has, the Minnesota game, the Packer game.
Well, I still feel that way because they're beat bad quarterbacks.
That's what I mean. You've got the Minnesota game, you got the Packer game, you got the Arizona game, you got the Panther game. Yeah. So, I mean, it's always been for McCaskey how many wins are, that's what, he could have fired Nagy a few years ago, and they made the playoffs on the skin of their teeth, and he ran it back with those guys when he shouldn't have. So the question is, what's the win total cutoff where they actually will?
It shouldn't be about win total.
It shouldn't be, but it always is with this franchise.
Well, process over results.
Right. They're going to win 6 games, and McCaskey's going to show up to the end of season presser going, well, we made improvements. We had twice as many wins as we did last year.
But, Brex, Kevin Warren's running the show now.
Right.
So look, they're going to have some really difficult discussions, or maybe it's not even that difficult. But
it might be difficult between Warren and Poles because I don't get the sense that Poles is going to quit on his guy.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. Going into the season, there were less than none. Ryan Poles was very clear that he was borderline thrilled with Matt Eberflus last year. So this has turned in a very dramatic way. And yes, by the way, we are living in a week-to-week world of the NFL season because these losses just feel, as bad as this one feels probably as bad as any loss all season long right now.
But that's what's so weird about this team. Like, there's no consistency. You're stepping on my cord right now. Thank you.
Still are.
Yeah. But like they have, and even if you want to take like the Brian Hoyer part out of it last week, like the offense still did common sense things throughout the whole game. And yes, it helps when you have a lead, right?
Yeah, it absolutely changes the complexion.
Like the second the Bears went down 7-0 that fast tonight, you're like, oh shit, this is what it's like.
How about when it was 17-7? There was less than 2 minutes to go in the first half of the Chargers. Like, well, screw this. Let's go back. Let's get this right back right now. And they have no chance to stop them. That's when I was like, okay, well, we can't even enjoy the fact being down 10.
Well, I'm just saying there's a huge disconnect between the resources they put in the defense, including the coach they hired, who's a defensive guy, and them still getting these results this far into this. It's that part of it to me is not acceptable. It can't be acceptable. If I'm Kevin Warren, I am saying it's unacceptable. Just cannot happen.
So, okay, Adam, I'm making you Kevin Warren. What are you doing at the end of this season? The Bears have won 5 games. They finished 5-12. They improved by 2 games. The defense was up and down.
Well,
Justin was up and down. Bagent was.
Well, if the season ends tonight, I am insisting we make coaching change, because to me it goes back to what I was talking about before. You could lose this game tonight, but be competitive. Process over results, right? Well, if the process tonight was they played a competitive game, the defense kept the momentum that they've shown the last month. They didn't have stupid penalties scattered throughout the game, turnovers. If that was it and they still lost at the end of the day, I'm not sitting here as Kevin Warren wondering if I need to make a change. I'm seeing overall progress with my football team. This is a huge step backwards tonight.
I think the locker room, and this, I'm taking a leap here. I agree. Huge step back, incredibly disappointing. I also think the locker room's in a weird place right now. You got the trade deadline coming up on Tuesday. You've got a popular guy in that locker room in Jalen Johnson who's been talking to the media, and no problem with Jalen talking, and has been disappointed that things have not moved faster with his contract. You've got a guy in the room that I think everybody was pulling for Tyson last week, and I'm not saying they weren't pulling from, but you have a quarterback that's very popular in that room. That's heard out there. So the motivation to just do everything they can to win right now while this guy's waiting to come to play, it makes me. I just wonder how much they're really there to do that. So it's. And then they come out and they play like this, and it's like, okay, well, maybe my sense around those type of things could be slightly right, because there is a lot going on right now. You let a guy last year walk out in Roquan, which was not a popular decision. You're going to do it again with Jalen. Sometimes you just got to pay your guys, man. It's a good corner. He's 24 years old. He's popular in that room. You're trying to build something. He's one of your good players. Maybe you have to pay. You want to pay him 15 or 14 or 13, whatever you want to pay him, and he's going to sign for 16 or 17. Well, you know what? Get her done, man. Send a message to that locker room. So,
well, and sometimes, like, I compare this to, like, the analytics conversation, right? Like, we hear from polls all the time about how his guys behind the scenes, they do all the research and they attach values to these guys, and, like, the numbers just got to be right. Like, both sides have to come to an agreement. And like, they were – sometimes you just got to have your gut. Like, it's coach with all the analytics. You take all the numbers in. You can say the card can tell you to do this, but sometimes you have to have a gut feel for your guys, for what they can and cannot do. And if we're going to look back on the Roquan Smith thing and be like, they let him go to Baltimore over $2 million a year.
Right.
Come on, man.
Because
their numbers said he was only worth $18 million and he wanted 20, and a different team gave him 20, and now he's good.
And don't tell me you traded him because you were trying to tank, because you went out and you traded for Chase Claypool 5 seconds later. You were not trying to tank.
I just don't care about that. They replaced him with an equal to linebacker and also added TJ Edwards.
I disagree with that. Roquan Smith's way better than anything they have at linebacker right now.
And you should care about it.
I don't agree with that.
We're talking about the room and the culture. And when you rip guys out of there that are well respected in that locker room, it matters, man. In a locker room that's done what? Dude, you're trying to build something, right? You're trying to build a foundation. Some are gonna last and some are not. Who do you want to be a part of it? Do you want to let Jalen go?
If he can't come up to the price, I don't want to lose him for nothing. I like Jalen Johnson, but if there's a certain you can't be held ransom to the player's demand of what they want. You can't overpay for everybody. There's a salary cap. You got to, at some point, adhere to a number. You got to have some salary cap discipline. I understand. We all like these guys. We're fans of all these guys. But if you have a certain number, you got to stand on it if you're Ryan Poles. And I don't have any problem with him having a number.
Well, we have someone who does have a problem with Poles. That's Chris, $99.99. Thank you, Chris. Poles has lost my trust. He and all the other coaches need to go now. This franchise is a joke. Other than DJ Moore and Justin Fields, this team has zero talent.
To me, it's like, yeah, it's a trickle-down effect. You guys are saying the linebackers aren't any good. They don't have a pass.
No. Don't change what I said. I said they're not as good as Roquan Smith.
I just think without a pass rush we don't know how good they are. And you've seen in the weeks where the defensive line, where they do generate a pass rush, how the linebackers can be difference makers on this team.
When we're bringing up the linebackers,
I mean, their entire secondary has been hurt.
They
for
still
6 games.
never let Jack Sanborn play next to Roquan Smith. I would have loved to see that. And I think it's a huge missed opportunity that we never saw that.
and look,
Because you got Sanborn on an undrafted rookie contract. So if he's good enough to play next to Roquan, you can pay the extra $2 million a year for Roquan Smith. That's again, like, stop getting rid of your best players.
I just didn't think
You're just like turning into the Oakland A's with this philosophy.
and it's also they've built the defense from the outside in. It's counterintuitive. Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, those are your
Tyreek Stevenson.
Tyreek. Like it's.
Oh, he had a game.
And I have nothing against those players, but before you deal with that, you have to deal with the immense need of having someone up front who can get to the quarterback. Now, you want to tell me that there was nobody there that could get that could have, impacted your defense that way? Well, we all know there was somebody, and I've said it a million times, I had problems with him off the field, but there was somebody sitting there right there that could have impacted your defense that way, and Jalen Carter, they chose not to do it. Nothing against Darnell Wright, but if you don't have that, it's like you have nothing. You can't win against any good team.
That's what I mean by like you have the head coach say the 3 techniques, the engine of the defense, and then they don't really go get a 3 technique.
I just, to me, I just think then if we had taken Jalen Carter and they didn't have an answer at right tackle and the quarterbacks don't have 2 seconds to throw, we'd be complaining about how they don't have enough on the offensive line to get an understanding of how the offense
don't have enough on the offensive line.
can function.
Yeah, I hear you.
You're plugging up holes on the Titanic, one hole, and then water shoots out the other hole.
Right, but it's easier to get a right tackle than it is to get the 3 tech, right?
I mean, to me, it's all about development of the quarterback, and that's what we talked about all offseason. All that mattered was developing Justin Fields. All that matters is creating an environment conducive of developing a quarterback. That's what wins in this league. And until you have that figured out, you can talk about defensive line all you want. Like I said, the Philadelphia Eagles had 97 sacks last year. How many points did they give up in the Super Bowl? You got to score points.
They played in the Super Bowl.
I understand they played in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying at some point, you still got to be able to put up points with the big dogs.
I'd love to go to the Super Bowl.
Give me
to the
that
Super
sounds
Bowl.
great.
Let's go.
You're not going to get there either if you don't have an offensive line.
You got to have
So I'm not going to – I mean, especially from you guys especially you, Carm, you spent all offseason saying don't draft Jalen Carter. You cannot now rail against them for not drafting Jalen Carter. I know you always preface that you said I didn't want to draft him, but you can't turn around and revisionist history this till the end of time when you yourself said I don't want Jalen Carter.
That's one anecdotal part of the whole part, dude.
I actually disagree with that premise. He can if he admits he was wrong at the same time.
I guess.
It's not his job to make the draft pick.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Well, in Braggs' world of Twitter and Spaces and where he lives, you can't do that. But which is fine. I appreciate Greg's.
I actually wanted Jalen Carter, and I'm the only one not railing against it.
Great. Well, you should, because
I don't know how he got to Jalen Carter.
It's not just Jalen.
Because we need a pass rush. That's why.
I'm just talking. Look,
that would help.
You have to evaluate. you have to evaluate the regime right now. And one thing this regime has done in building this team
lose football games.
Is lose a lot of football games, and they build it from the outside.
I heard the 3 techniques, the engine of this defense.
Yeah,
it's just.
Yeah, you know what though? At the end of the day,
it doesn't look good, dude.
At the end of the day, again, whatever they're gonna do at quarterback, Luke Getsy and Justin Fields do not align. Because what they brought in Tyson Bagent, they run this quick hitting offense, wide receiver screens, reverses and everything stretched horizontally. That's how Luke Getsy wants to run an offense, which isn't what matches up with Justin Fields' strengths. And at the end of the day, that's why they need to bring in a different coaching staff that can develop a quarterback, whether it be Justin Fields or whatever quarterback they decide to draft in next year's offseason. Period.
All right.
What did we just do for the last half hour? I'm going to crawl under the table.
A lot of yelling, a little bit of ranting, getting out the emotions. I think it's necessary at this point.
I thought I had a decent first quarter of the show.
Yeah, I agree.
I know you were the star of that show. definitely. Braggs,
This show?
you were great too.
The current show we're doing.
I need a Diet Coke.
Carm's having a rough night though because
I want out of here.
LeBron just sent the Lakers into overtime too.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. That's what he does.
Did Anthony Davis score?
Is
Probably
Tyson
not.
Bagent a better quarterback than LeBron James is the basketball player?
Hell
Listen,
no.
I still believe in 17. I don't care who's coming at me. 17. Come on.
Hey,
rough.
I'm excited to do this read.
Okay,
This
here we
brings
go.
me back to my childhood and basically my entire life. Empire.
773.
No, that's
No.
Luna, you
Don't-
moron.
Idiot.
Dude,
988
You-
2300.
588, you
58?
fucking morons. 40 years this goddamn
No, I
commercial.
I can't believe that Empire is sponsoring us.
At least I was
it's,
closer.
It's seriously a great moment for the show. Tell us about Empire,
I
Hoge.
mean, it was until you
Empire.
both screwed up the goddamn phone number.
I didn't do
That's
anything. I'm doing the read. Hey, with Empire today, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. Empire today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they have some copycats out there, but those copycats cannot beat Empire on quality, service, speed. They advertise low-quality products that Empire doesn't carry. No, Empire goes high quality. They're being honest with you. They're not going to promise the lowest prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in their own home. Empire today is going to take care of you. They keep shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. They leave out what Empire leaves out of our selection is as important as what they put in. Empire's product team exhaustively combs through thousands of product samples each year to find the perfect styles. The virtual floor designer is a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. It's easy to snap a picture, instantly see how new floors will look in your room. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details.
And hey, to our friends at DraftKings, who I donated to again today. Man, I cannot. It's been a tough run for me here. Hey, let's talk buckets for a second here. NBA fans, you love football, but you love the NBA too, right?
LeBron fans.
There you go. But
No such thing.
basketball is back, and DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the NBA, and they've got the unbeatable offer for you. If you're a new customer, you can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for throwing down $5 on the NBA. Win or lose, doesn't matter. Start the season with that instant win. And with the DraftKings parlay, everyone's got a shot at even bigger basketball wins. String together multiple bets from the same game or build your parlay across multiple games for a shot at making your payday even sweeter. Here's what you do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Do it now. Use the code CHGO. New customers, once again, $200 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook with that code CHGO. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling, calling 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. I have a Boot Hill Casino and Resort, licensee partner, Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, Louisiana. 21 or over. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Joey Spathis was phenomenal tonight, as was Lawrence
King of the
Benedetto. It is now time for our king of the game.
Joey.
I mean, Joey's been awesome. I screwed up the opener of the show, so I'm in a world of pain over here.
Alicia has been the king of the game, killing it on the bartender back here at Fireplace
the
Inn.
queen of the game.
You almost forgot where we were.
I mean,
I keep wanting to say Fireside.
I think we should give it to Crystal. She's still here.
Crystal
She's
queen of the
supporting.
I mean, unfortunately, we already talked about it. King of the game is Cole Kmet.
He works for us too.
That's
10
true.
Catches, 79 yards. Didn't get in the end zone for Carm.
Killed me.
Sorry, Carm.
He did hit the over on the yards.
I need to just keep it simple and
Dude,
just
we almost. Well, actually, we did hit Braggs' prop with the Bagent
Hit
anytime
Braggs'
touchdown.
prop.
But
And
we
I
almost
had
had
the
the
Chargers-
reception that I called.
Yep, that was
They
close.
tried to
they
run
ran
that.
the play.
Good job by Khalil Mack there.
Yep.
Because, why would you think to cover the quarterback there? And he just did it instinctually. That's why Khalil Mack, as opposed to – I watched a pregame show earlier today where someone told me Khalil Mack is no longer good. I don't know where that was.
Same guy picked the Bears to win.
Me and Will DeWitt picked the Bears to win tonight. That's right.
But only one of the two of you said Khalil Mack's not good anymore.
That's true.
Right here. Did you notice him?
Yes.
When?
The play I just talked about where he covered Tyson Bagent out of the backfield.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Also,
He covered the quarterback.
the third, what was it, third or fourth play of the game when he blew up Cody White, or it was a combination of him and Bosa.
All right.
But they went right through the left side of the offensive line and basically ended the game right there.
Okay. I got you. Listen, lots going on over
Hey,
here.
we got a 99.99 super chat again.
From?
Chris, again.
Where's
That's two tonight. I don't know if the Duke has changed the name or we got a new Duke, but Chris is our guy.
New Duke.
We
Chris is the
appreciate
new
you.
Duke.
He says, pass rush, strong O-line. Poles reminds me of Stan Bowman. Ugh. Thinks he's smarter than everyone else in the league. Fields is the real deal, but no O-line, no D-line, and an awful coaching staff is pathetic. And let's get ready. This rebuild may go on until every McCaskey is no longer with us.
Can we just – how about this? Can we do this that maybe makes me feel better and no one else? Bears were outclassed tonight. I know the Chargers are 2-4, but they've had a lead in every fourth quarter. They were down one possession to the Chiefs last week with 6 minutes to go. They've got one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Jake's giving me a 3. I don't know what that means, but look, they're not in their league, man. Period. End of story. That's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's got solid weapons. It just goes to show, and it underlines how far away the Bears are from even remotely being in contention for doing anything. How's that?
I think that's the worst take I've heard all night. This team should be so much farther than that at this point.
I'm not saying
That's
they should
such a
be.
low bar to set
know.
for them. That's just excuse making.
That's why it was like going into the season, some Bears fans saying, if they win 6 games, I'm fine with that. It's twice as many as last year.
Oh,
No, we should not have such a low bar of expectations. The bar should be slightly higher than 6 wins.
Okay,
come on.
So
Justin Herbert has not been a great quarterback this year. He went 31 of 40 for 298 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions.
He hasn't been, but he is a great quarterback, and he had a different rap on
He
his
has
hands.
the
Maybe he's that
potential-
much health.
Okay.
He is good. No, I absolutely.
Right.
But you have to be able to be competitive against him.
Hoge, I don't disagree. I'm just talking. We're talking about a team that won 3 games last year and had the number 1 overall pick. Now you're asking who? Hey,
but they were able to slow down Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts late in the season when they had nobody left.
That's true.
That's what I'm getting
Right.
at.
That's
you
fair.
have more talent
Exactly.
now.
We talked about this after
This is unacceptable.
That's
You
what I'm saying.
cannot make
Yes.
excuses for this. This defensive performance tonight, unacceptable.
right.
It's the NFL,
We
man.
talked about this after the Chiefs game. Kevin Warren has to walk into Ryan Poles' office and say, you added all this talent. How did you get worse?
Let me ask you a question. Do you want to make a coaching change tomorrow, or do you want to play it out?
I don't know what making it tomorrow changes.
Okay, so just play it out. How about this?
Right. Show me that you can. That's what's so disappointing about tonight. That's what was so disappointing about the Vikings game a couple weeks ago. I'm not even saying you have to win the games. Be competitive. Give yourselves a chance. I'll go back to what I said off the top of the show. This whole era, especially this season, because actually I think there were some games late last year where you're like, man, they're still fighting their ass off, similar to how the Cardinals are right now. Right in Arizona, they're 1-7, but they seem to have a fight to them. We saw that at times last year when they had nobody left really on that roster. This year, it's been all about these ugly, non-competitive, stupid losses and beating 2 bad quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to keep the coaches the rest of the year, because there's no point in getting rid of them, because it's not like you're not going to come up with a permanent solution midway through the season, fine. But if you're Ryan Poles and you're Kevin Warren, if you're choosing to keep Ryan Poles and roll him into the, whatever they do next year with the 2 first-round picks, then you have to make an agreement with yourself right now. I do not care what they do the rest of the year. We are changing up the coaching staff. Period.
Who do you think, if you had to bet right now, who has a better record at the end of the year, the Bears or the Panthers? We've got 2 wins.
I think the Bears will.
Okay.
Because they got plenty of games left against bad quarterbacks. Like, they'll beat Josh Dobbs.
Say it, Carm.
They're going to beat whoever the Vikings, whoever the quarterback is for the Vikings. That game.
I just don't think I hear what you're saying, and I agree with it. But I'm just also making the point, like there's no game that you can go into as a Bears fan right now thinking we've got this. I'm not going to pick them next week against the Saints. No chance.
Wait, you picked him tonight though?
Yes, I was riding. I was riding the Bagent train. I had songs ready, the whole thing. This is a terrible.
Oh, thank God!
They just ruined. They ruined so
well,
much.
that's what you do as a fan, right?
They ruined so much fun.
It's what you do as a fan. When they lost to Denver, we were all just so down and demoralized from that. We couldn't see how they could beat Washington, and they did. We all picked against Washington. They beat Washington, so we're riding this high. We all picked them to beat the Vikings, right? And then they don't. And like for you with this Bagent thing, and I know you're invested in him, and that's fine. I think he's a very intriguing developmental quarterback. But them winning that game last week, you're riding that high, trying to see that victory, envision that victory. Every fan does that going into every week. The closer you get to Sunday, the more you've convinced yourself how the Bears can win a game. It's just what we do. Fan is short for fanatical.
But this is why I picked the Chargers tonight. It was because there were certain things I knew were not going to be the same. Like, one, you're playing a much better quarterback. Right?
You weren't going to have a lead all game.
You weren't going to be playing with the lead the whole game. The Chargers, and you saw this in the game defensively, how they play, took away a lot of that quick game stuff and forced things to the outside, right? And they did a good job of that. So that was a schematic job. Brandon Staley can still coach football. I don't know. He's got questions, obviously, about being a head coach. But defensively, he knows how to scheme things up. But what I didn't expect was the defense to be that bad and that non-competitive. And I didn't expect and maybe this was maybe the one thing I overlooked was even last week against the Raiders, they had way too many penalties. Yes. And those continue tonight.
So I'm fairly certain that the QB school here is in our chat, gracing us with his presence. I don't, it's got the check mark next to it. Okay. So I just thought that was noteworthy. I don't know. He's just in here.
What's up, JT?
JT is chilling in the chat. So welcome. Now, I'm definitely interested to see, his breakdown. Obviously Bagent had a good breakdown last week, and rightfully so. He executed the offense that was given to him. But tonight, I know you really hate hearing this. This game was beyond him. As I've tried to explain multiple times to you, the more that you have to open up the playbook for a quarterback of Bagent's caliber and where he's at in his career as a rookie D2 quarterback, the more you open up the playbook, the more trouble he's going to get in. You saw that as he was trying to fit it into tight windows across the middle. I do think his arm strength is a question. Can he throw the ball 50 yards downfield? Yes, but it's about fitting into tight windows. He had a couple nice throws to the sidelines that I thought had some nice velocity to them, but then there's those other throws where you've got to have a howitzer, man, to fit it in NFL windows to make some of these throws. And I just don't know. Is Bagent a game man more than a game manager? It's going to be a long time before he can prove otherwise about that.
I don't know even to I'm curious what JT will break this one down. And look, you have somebody who has played the position a ton, who's had a lot of success, who has showed signs of being able to do things that Justin can't. And yeah, sure, he doesn't have Justin Herbert's arm. That's true. There's a lot. Arm strength is not.
He's got good enough arm strength.
I
didn't like how the ball came out on that throw to Bayless.
I didn't understand what happened there. So he's got some weird moments going on. Yeah. There's nothing in my.
Bayless should have caught that 100%. Don't get me wrong. Catch the ball. But from watching it live, from the second that ball came out of his hands, I'm like, that ball is like fluttering in the air. It just doesn't look right.
As far as I can tell, on the 2023 Chicago Bears, the best things that have happened so far this year, he's in the top 3. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That is something that.
So Cairo Santos, number 1.
Santos, Gill, Bagent. Give me something else. I don't know.
25 of 37, 232 yards. I mean, a lot of it in garbage time at the end, but
He
still,
was fine, man. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible.
Bayless dropped one. Yes, the ball could have been better, but Bayless,
He threw a helicopter to him. It was weird. Whatever. I don't. He's obviously everyone's all the Chicago media is gonna dunk on him this week and say, "See, I told you, yada yada." That's fine. I still want to see more. We're not gonna. It seems that
I
Justin's
just don't
gonna.
understand why we have to live in that place. Like,
Which place?
what do you mean? It's Chicago.
I know that, but it's just like, why can't he just be a promising rookie
He
backup
is.
right
He's
now?
a promising
Right.
developmental quarterback.
So I'm
Intriguing. I don't know. I don't
still,
even know if it's.
I'm still intrigued. That's where I'm at.
Yes.
And look, you want to speak about weird things tonight, and I don't know what was going on with Justin Fields. He's wearing a headset. The mic's up to the moon. He's wearing these weird sunglasses. He's talking to himself.
How are they weird?
What
They
the
look
hell?
Great. He
What-
looked good, man.
What?
No, I know what Carm's talking about. Well, I don't care about the sunglasses. That's fine. But at one point, he had I'm going to do this with my mic now, just to warn you. So like the mic's up here, and he's talking. It's talking like he's talking in the headset, but he's not because he's not talking to anybody.
So he's like Braggs when it comes to knowing how to use it.
Yes.
Crystal's trying to explain. I can't hear it, but like, I thought he just had a little bit of a night of Tourette's. Like, I want to be playing and I'm not, so I'm just talking to myself, which is what I would probably do. Because I'm looking.
Hey, look.
Well, and yeah.
Sometimes even as coaches, you have moments where you forget your headset's up here, and everyone's like, "We can't hear you, dude."
Right.
But that brace looks significant. I mean, I hope I know that there was a report out that he's gunning to play. Tom Pelissero had it out that he really wants to play. So
It's a splint.
Well, that was the question I asked Hoge. Is like, if Justin Fields isn't coming back next Sunday against the Saints, then why didn't they IR him?
Because
and you explained
you're
it to me,
running
but you
out
can
of IR spots. I think you only have 8 the whole season, and they've already used 5, I believe, and they still have Khalil Herbert on IR. They still have Braxton Jones they have to take off. They're running out of spots to bring
that
guys
shocks
back.
me that there's a cap to how many.
Well, it used to be 2, and you had to sit out like 8 weeks.
That's insane to me.
It used to be you couldn't IR it. You couldn't bring anyone back from IR. Then they came up with the 2 spot, and then eventually with COVID, they expanded it. So it's actually quite a bit. The Bears are running out of spots. And also, if he can come back, if he only misses 3 games, why would you put him on IR for 4? They don't need the roster spot right now. It's fine.
JT O'Sullivan says, I was thinking of taking this week off for the Bears. We'll see. These dudes feel like they are in the dumpster. I wish I could buy them around. It's a long season. Hang tough, y'all.
Thank you.
QB school. JT
Well, this was just a tough one.
Well, one of the reasons why I love watching JT's breakdown is because most of the time, some of the times he's watching some of the game on TV, but a lot of times like he's watching it for the first time, like as he's going through the film, and just like the raw reaction of like, what the fuck was that? Like either whether it was a play call or what the players did, like it's just a really enjoyable, and you learn a ton. So I highly recommend the QB school. Check it out.
I got he's on one tonight. Another $50 coming our way, and says this is totally unacceptable. Really hope Kevin Warren changes this team's culture into a winning culture. This is a huge market team, and the Bears being good is good for the NFL. Come on.
That's true.
Thank
By
you,
the way,
Chris.
quick tease. Speaking of Tyson Bagent breakdowns, tomorrow, right off the top of our show at noon, Ken Mistroli, who trained Tyson Bagent in draft season and is his private quarterbacks coach, is going to come on our show tomorrow at noon and help break things down with us. And he's got a really good game to go off of, and now tonight was not.
It'll be interesting to see what he has to say, especially.
Wait, we have to do another show tomorrow in like 10 hours?
Yep.
Sweet.
That's what we do here at CHGO.
Thank you to the 2,400 plus people watching right now, late night after a tough loss. We appreciate it. Obviously not the night that anybody wants. Yes, we love all of you. And
That means clap, everyone. Oh, wait, nobody's back
There's
there.
nobody down there. They're all up here.
only Chris will say that. I hope that Jake's buying her all the drinks. Look,
Our crowd here tonight actually stuck it out.
they were
pretty late.
phenomenal. Our
They were
crowd was
phenomenal.
I mean,
they were great.
I would have left after the third quarter.
I was ready to leave after the first drive. I'm
Yes, we could tell you want to leave.
That was no.
I know he's stuck there, so he's stuck right in the middle. He can't get up.
At one point, he came up to
Can
me.
we get this guy a Red Bull and
one-
maybe highlights of Tyson Bagent
At one
throwing
point,
touchdowns to
after
Shepherd?
Bagent's first
We gotta get this guy
interception,
back.
he came up to me. He's like, "If Bagent throws another one of those interceptions, I'm leaving."
I got to protect myself. Look,
And then I just proceeded to take pictures of him all night and post them on the World Wide
that
Web.
was a good job by you. Look,
Tweet here from Nicholas Moriano. Matt Eberflus brought up fundamentals when asked about
Thanks.
the missed tackles in tonight's game against the Chargers.
it's time on task. If they need just a little couple more time on task, how do you seriously?
Dude, isn't that what the baseline of the hits principle is?
Well, somebody asked that this week.
Oh,
Matt,
my God.
Matt, you came here, and before you said anything, we learned about the hits principle, and then we had to figure out what it was, and then we figured it was hustle, intensity, the ball, and smarts. This is what you are about, yet we don't do any of it consistently. How is it possible that you guys have not mastered the art of lining up?
How is the ball not first, by the way? It's the most important thing in the game. It's the ball.
How did you hire a guy in Ryan Poles when you interviewed him and he said, "You know what I adhere to is the hits principle"? How was that possible?
There we go. There's no way Carm drinks that, but I appreciate it.
Are you gonna have it?
So
Yeah,
if
you
the
can have it.
So if the ball was first,
Do you drink Red Bull? I don't think you do.
So if
I don't. But
so if the ball was first
Drink
in the Eberflus philosophy, it
Yeah.
would be this philosophy.
weren't we singing the
Ooh.
guy's praises this week?
This.
By the
So
way,
this philosophy,
This philosophy.
this principle,
Yeah.
I like that.
you gotta give Matt Eberflus credit for the defense. Now that he's the defensive coordinator, the defense looks a whole lot different. Things have changed. The Flus is in his comfort zone. This is great. Weren't we saying that all this week? And now you go out on Sunday night and you play like you are Shepherd College versus an NFL team. And let's, as quick as possible, let's get him out of here.
Was
Which,
anyone
by the
really
way,
praising Flus this week?
there was a lot of praise for Flus this week.
Well, what are we supposed to do, man? I mean, we're looking for a sliver of hope at any moment, and they show, the smallest sign of improvement. We're going to acknowledge it, or we could just sit here and shit on this team every week until we get to the end of the season.
6 days a week.
6 days a week. Nice chug.
Apparently, the Chargers have this really badass tweet they put out that just like
Need a bib.
It's all right.
punks the Bears, but
I can't handle this anymore. I love you.
I can't see it.
It's been
I
a
can't
great
hear it.
career.
I always love when I'm still
there's
doing the show
audio.
and they just start talking to
Well,
each
I mean,
other.
he's got
That's my
beer
favorite
all
thing.
over him. I mean,
Oh, you just did
that's
that.
what I'm saying. He
I
chugged
missed
this.
that.
Well,
That's a
we're
terrible
doing a
chug.
show
You
over
miss
here.
things too.
Yeah.
You miss things. Yeah, take it down.
I
Let's
am
go.
not doing all of that.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
No,
you
I'm
are.
not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Chug that
I'll do it.
beer.
No, I'm not.
Go
Chug
ahead.
that Red Bull.
That's for
Oh.
you. That's your game.
Oh, I already had one earlier.
Here you go, Braggs. There
No,
you go.
thank you.
There
I
go,
got
buddy.
enough energy in my
Hey,
life.
Mark Gauthier,
I love you,
We
go
know
Tia.
Nottingham,
Easingwold.
Easy Mold, same
He
place.
just threw us 49
no,
to
it's
say
not. I'm sorry.
he said it's 4:11 a.m. in the UK, and I'm still with you guys. Thank you, Mark Gauthier. You are
We
the
appreciate
man.
you, Mark.
Hashtag the GOAT.
And while we're talking about
Yeah, I know
Mark,
he had a $20
Yeah,
super
yeah.
chat in there earlier.
yeah, it's about you, Bragg.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bragg's in a league like this. You need an O-line for a QB to compete in a shootout. Defense would also help. I think the staff is finished.
Yeah, I mean, I fired the coaching staff when Bagman came out week 3. So, I get it. Like, I'm ready to move on from
That was
these
week
guys.
3?
That was week 3.
That was the Chiefs game.
Yes. I mean, I actually fired the coaching staff week 2 after Tampa when they refused to run the ball.
Yeah.
Because the writing's been on the wall for a while now. I mean, just the way they came out the season.
I'm
And
such an idiot for not picking the Packers week 1.
we are all idiots.
Oh yeah, that one still hurts.
we
I
all picked the Bears. We all
I
picked
know.
the Bears.
And I
Anytime it's been unanimous, it's gone the other way. So, whatever. I don't care
I'm picking
who's
the
right or
Packers
wrong
week
about
18.
any of this shit. It's just, to me, we're just playing out the string. There's a couple more questions that need to be answered until we get to the offseason. A, where are the Bears picking with their 2 top picks? Because that's going to have a lot of context of how they play out the offseason. And B, can Justin Fields do anything to convince Ryan Poles that he should be the guy moving forward, and they don't need to draft a quarterback. I think those things are still on the table, but the hourglass has been turned over for quite some time on this entire regimen and
regime.
Whatever, regimen.
Not the
I say
regiment.
regimen.
Yeah, it's like an army term.
I say army term. So to me, do not kill my momentum here. To me, those are the two answers that need to be questions that need to be answered. And until we get to the end of the offseason, we're just going to be kind of grinding our teeth until we get there.
See, that was like a good drive. You get a penalty that backs you up on first down, but you still finished it.
So
finished
not
it.
a Bears.
Right.
Yeah.
It started out good. Then I had the holding penalty. You were holding.
Which was, you
You
said
were
it.
holding.
I called the flag. I'm the ref. I threw the flag. You committed the penalty, though.
Yeah.
Don't blame the refs.
While you were talking, and
I always blame the refs.
The refs were awful tonight.
they were terrible.
Yeah, I mean, is Tyreek Stevenson allowed to play man coverage?
That was great.
Or does he have to wait until he's like a third-year vet where he's going to be allowed to actually play man coverage?
This is something one of the nice things about having a night game sometimes is you get to watch the other games on Sunday.
It was so enjoyable.
The
love it.
NFL needs an intervention when it comes to pass interference. This is ridiculous. I was watching game after game today. You can't play defense anymore. You can't play defense anymore. It's awful.
I mean, Tyreek Stevenson wasn't even getting mad. He's just laughing at this point.
I mean, that one where he was in perfect position and they threw the ball into his back. Pass interference. What?
And he beefed it, and he was right. And you're right about the NFL likes to make things confusing.
Did what?
He beefed. He
beefed it.
He beefed it.
You know what you do. You beef it.
You're a good listener.
What's
You have a very you hone in on words. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's like he listens with his ears.
How dare I?
Hey, look, I just
want to know what that means.
He argued.
I believe
he had beef.
he had beef with the ref.
He
Yeah.
beefed it.
He beefed it.
He beefed it.
Well, I have beef with that word.
That's fair. I just wanted to let you guys know that as Braggs was doing his last soliloquy, I talked myself into my head of picking the Bears against the Saints. That's what's going on with me in the last minute.
It's exciting.
You're going to do it.
Good luck with that.
You're going to do it. And
if Bagent is the quarterback, he's picking him.
I'm picking him regardless. Let's go.
see, I'm at the point. I want to
Bounce
see.
back.
I want to see Justin. I'm ready for Justin. Get Justin back here.
See, and that's the other thing about tonight. Like, the Chargers defense has not really been that good this year. And you guys say, well, Justin Fields would have never been able to come back in this game. To me, if Justin Fields was playing in this game with the opportunity of more explosive plays, yes, I cannot stand when you give me these looks.
Good.
How is that?
You think they would have won tonight with Fields?
Did I say that?
I don't know what you're about to say.
Opportunity for more explosive plays. You're not listening. You need to use Hoge's ears.
Finish the thought.
He just beefed you.
Finish the thought.
So that's my point.
Then what?
That what? What are you? The opportunity for more explosive plays to stay in a game.
You think they would have stayed in the game?
I think they would have had the opportunity to. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And you could have the opportunity to get some nice shoes
if I had the Soul Savvy read in front of me.
If you had the Soul Savvy read in front of
If you had the Soul Savvy.
By the way, that one email looks very legit. You should click on it.
Which email? What are you talking about?
Complete-
Get out of my emails.
Complete spam.
I like spam.
I can read off your computer.
I'm
Would you
trying
like me to read the Soul Savvy ad?
No,
Okay.
sure, but we
there,
have it.
right
There it is.
there.
Go
No,
ahead.
actually, Soul Savvy's awesome. I saw this the other day that the Jordans that were coming out like next week. There was an
The
early
12s?
there was an early release on Soul Savvy.
Why can't we just do this show in the Jordan era and just talk Bulls?
That'd be very
my
nice.
God, that would
It'd be better than in
that
the
sounds
Patrick
nice.
Williams era.
Do you think
I believe in that guy
do you
too.
You know, that isn't.
Carm, do you think I wake
Carm,
up every single day for the last
Carm.
13 years of my life not thinking
literal,
that same thing?
Carm, literal light bulb moment right here on the show.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can go into the archives
Yeah.
and then just watch every game back starting from the
I
start,
want-
and then just do post-game shows of every single game?
I mean, we could, yeah.
for
I did that
15
during
years.
the pandemic with Super Bowl 20
That's what I'm saying.
when there was no games on. We actually did that.
Can we start in '84 as a rookie?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we
sure.
start right from the beginning, do post-game shows after every single game.
I wrote a whole recap, like I covered the game live, and then we did a show. It was great. But also great.
Soul Savvy.
Soul Savvy. Don't miss out on the biggest sneaker drops and download the Soul Savvy Drops app. That's what it's called, Drops. Download it. The Drops by Soul Savvy app makes it easy to keep up with all the latest news, releases, raffles, and sales in the sneaker world. It is your one-stop shop for everything sneakers. You get instant notifications when those drop alerts happen. Never miss a release again. You'll get instantly notified whenever your size is available to buy. That's right. You put in your size, what you're interested in. They're going to let you know when it's available. Free raffle management. Keep track of all the raffles that happen in sneakers with our raffle tracker. They have a release calendar. Our accurate release calendar will keep you updated on releases that are upcoming. Whether you are a casual buyer or an all-out sneakerhead like Nicholas Moriano, Soul Savvy has something for you with 3 different levels. You got the basic version, which is completely free, the Mobile Plus, or the Premium. And we do have a drop. Nope, we don't. That already happened. Sign up. That was the one I was talking about. If you missed out. Yeah, the Air Jordan 12s. There was
cherries.
Yeah, the cherry version. That's right. They dropped yesterday, and so if you had been on drops last week, they were going to notify you, and I believe there was a little early access there as well. But here's what you do: sign up for the next one. You can sign up for Soul Savvy by clicking the links in the description below, or by visiting links.soulsavvy.com/CHGO, or head over to the App Store, download the Drops by Soul Savvy app.
Okay. Good stuff from Hoge.
I am gonna get a funnel and pour this down
I'm
your
checking
throat. If you don't,
I'm checking Twitter to see what is being.
What's Danny Parkins saying?
What is being said?
He's not reading Parkins. He's the same Bears Twitter he mocks on this show daily.
Best cat dad ever.
He's reading
is
that.
The current tweet I see on his phone.
And he's not the thing that's also crazy and clearly showing his age is that he's not in night mode.
Yeah,
he's in day mode.
I can't stand.
If you're not in night mode,
stop talking. CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company. Thank you so much for all the goose tonight.
Goose.
It was delicious. Great to be out here at the Fireplace Inn, supported by Goose. We've had an amazing night, even though the Bears were not amazing. It is Chicago's beer since 1988. Their beer roster is incredible. We drink it every single day. We're going to be drinking a lot of it tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m. to get ready for the noon show. Oktoberfest, the Beer Hug family, the 312 Wheat Ale, the Full Pocket Pills, which I've been crushing. Grab an Ultra Fresh brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. Thank you to all our friends at Goose. Now what, Hoge?
Now what do we do?
We're going to have Nicholas Moriano join us here shortly. I believe he is back upstairs.
By the candy?
After talking to Flus and some guys in the locker room. Yeah, there's plenty of candy and there's beer in that press box.
I mean, I got 1,000 super chats if you want me to do some of those while we wait, or if you have other things to do.
I think we should run another play for Velus Jones first.
Let's do that.
All right, go ahead. I can't see them, so you got to help us out.
He ran into the punt returner, too.
Yeah, he did that, too. Yeah, he's that's a great pick.
All right.
Tyson Bagent, by the way, is 5th in the NFL in completion percentage at 70 after tonight's terrible performance.
Well, we'll start with the fantasy
Fifth in the
contrarian.
NFL.
The fantasy contrarian says, so Velus Jones cut tomorrow?
It's got to be over with Velus.
Probably not, though.
What does he do?
All right, so we got a $99.99 super chat from Farming Bear.
Yes, we
his
do.
first ever super chat,
Love you,
ladies
Farming.
and gentlemen.
Farming Bear.
Farming.
Thank you, farmers.
The
Love the farmers.
Farming.
Okay.
You got this one, Brax?
The hardest working people in America. Farm. No, I'm not gonna. I'm sorry. They don't get free ads here. Enough is enough.
FarmersOnly.com.
Yeah, you don't have to get lonely. Enough is enough. There is no player that you can actually evaluate with this staff. Poles probably shouldn't get another year, but should get a chance at a new head coach because these coaches haven't elevated anyone.
So the argument for Ryan Poles getting another crack, the argument for Ryan Poles getting another crack at is the Bears interviewed Matt Eberflus before they ever hired Ryan Poles. And then it was like, we like this guy. Do you like him too? That'd be great if you did, because,
because we already did the interview and
we're
done searching.
That'd be like really sweet if you liked him too, and we could all do this together. Bears.
Right. So get a crack at
My favorite part of the 3/5 of the search committee that doesn't work at House Hall anymore.
Yes. Search committee. Actually have people that hire your head coach that have to be accountable to the organization after said hiring.
Maybe
that to me is a proper recipe for a healthy organization.
You know the team president's retiring, but you let them have one more hire.
No more Bill Polian.
Before, and then you bring in Bill Polian. It doesn't work.
No
there
more
doesn't know
Ernie
anything about the building at all. And then the one of the guys, Soup, they
fired him too.
They let he's in on the GM hiring, and then the GM fires him.
Well, so help me out here.
Tell me how any of that makes sense.
It doesn't.
Can you tell me which of those people I should create a song about? Should it be our coach?
It should be none of them. No more songs.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's not a good decision. So Ryan Poles, to me, will get rolled over. That's my prediction. You know, does it make sense to reset the whole thing? Yes. I don't think that's what Kevin Warren's going to do. To me, Ryan Poles will have a crack to find a head coach. If he starts right now, the last time, like you said, when he hired,
I'm not convinced they're going to be looking for a new head coach. That's the thing that.
Can we do the Poles look tonight that we saw late in the game? Can you try to do the Poles look?
Oh, when he had his earbuds in?
You've been doing that look for the last hour.
He was.
He looked so unbelievably nauseous.
Well, he was listening to your pregame show. What was going?
My pregame show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he was listening to in his AirPods.
Hoge's not happy with your Mac comment.
All right, let's keep moving on. What do you say? We do some more super chats? Yeah, okay, cool. I'm leading the show here. Tanner Smith, $20. Warren,
I can't see them.
I'm reading them. Warren and Flus need to clean house the second there was an announcement that we missed the playoffs. The Chargers didn't even do anything fancy either. Bunch of checkdowns and yak plays. We can't even beat simplicity. Sure.
Thank you so much, Tanner.
Yes. Next up is Chubbs, our guy Chubbs.
Chubbs, my guy.
What a $2 Chubb or
$20?
Is he yelling at us?
$20 Chubb.
Oh,
Chubb spent $20 tonight. Chubbs, I'm so sorry.
Poles should be fired. He didn't
that.
want to give Smith $2 million more. He didn't draft an edge, some of which were available in later rounds and are now balling out. And our two inside guys can't beat out overweight Billings.
Hey, don't take a shot at Billings. Billings has been a solid addition here. And also, come on, sometimes some of us, are hefty.
His name's Chubbs. You'd think
that's what I'm saying,
that.
Chubbs. Like, you gotta look out for our kind here.
How about Larson Ryan giving us $17? I don't know if anyone like Mark Carman.
That's interesting.
That number,
it's
$17.
Tyson Bagent.
That's so good.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm so glad we can watch your guy dominate, Carm. Fields is definitely the problem."
Thank you, Larson. I've never wanted to make this about Justin. I've just been Ty curious, and I'm still Ty curious.
There you go. Next up is from Alejandro Huamani, $10. Great show, guys. Appreciate the work tonight. And most of this regime's tenure has just been unacceptable. The coaching staff has proven to us that they are consistently inconsistent. They need to go.
They just don't have the personnel to match what they're trying to do. Matt Eberflus wants to play zone. They don't have a pass rush. We know that. But beyond that, they spent the first 4 weeks of the season trying to play zone when they clearly have corners that are better at playing man. It took them 5 weeks to figure that out. It took them 5 weeks to figure out they need to send a blitz. It took them 5 weeks to figure out they need to do the tush push on 4th and short. Personnel-wise, offensively, Luke Getsy, Justin Fields do not align. It took them 5 weeks to figure that out. That's, to me, the indictment with this coaching staff. They only have a certain way they want to run their systems, and they cannot cater it to the strengths or lack thereof to try to get the most out of the team they have now.
Andrew Labrado, $10. The problem is Poles is trying to moneyball this roster. He is letting good talent leave in hopes of getting a mid-level signing or second, third rounder to be the guy.
There's a little bit of that.
It makes you nervous, right?
I think to be fair, I think there's some reasonable logic to that at the start of a rebuild. But to me, it should not apply to the best player on your entire roster.
Yeah.
I get not wanting to pay Jalen top end for the top corner, but you know what? Keep your good players, man. You just got to do it. It's the way it is. Pay the freight.
All right. Can they beat me $10? You guys, parentheses, the Chicago media, and parentheses.
These guys.
Yeah. Bought into the backup QB hysteria. Again, you guys got to stop. Yeah, I think that's the Carman.
No, you can make that. You can put that right on me there. Can they beat me? That's right. I'm still Ty curious. He wasn't great tonight. He wasn't awful. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. And if he gets an opportunity to play again this year, I'll be interested to see how he does. I think there's talent there.
All right, Anthony Capriotti for $9.99. It looked like every quote-unquote collision, the Bears fell backward and the Chargers drove forward. Got dominated in short yardage on both sides and barely forced any 3rd and 7+. QB play is only a small part of the problem.
Tackling tonight was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Unbelievable.
Especially on that final drive to end the first half.
Yeah, I think that's a very,
Holy
very good
shit.
points. The Bears were falling backwards and the Chargers were driving forward.
Honestly, the only guy, that's a little unfair, I shouldn't say only, but one guy who did play with a physicality tonight, it's got nothing to do that he works with us and we really like him. Cole Kmet played hard tonight. He played physical. He was one of the guys that was falling forward tonight a lot.
And he's always falling forward.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was taking some shots, too. Like, by the end of the game, you could tell he was hurting a little bit. Well, if Cole Kmet Tuesday, by the way.
It's a really tough recovery, by the way, for the Bears, too, that Cole talked about last week. Coming back on Sunday nights is tough. They're going to get in at 5 a.m. tomorrow. And then the short weeks, it impacts them. Keep going.
All right, John Davis, $10. Eberflus has the worst winning percentage in the history of the franchise. How the F does that guy get 3 seasons? He's like Hugh Jackson with that type of record. He's got to be gone. He's horrendous.
He might not get 3 seasons, but I think the show's in a general consensus that decision has not been made yet. Right?
To me, it's crazy if they run this back with this coaching staff.
Do you think the decision's been made? Do you think he knows what he's going to do? Do you think Ryan Poles
I hope he's smart enough to know what needs to be made.
Adam, do you think that Ryan Poles knows what he's going to do with his head coach?
No, I don't.
It's crazy to me.
I don't.
We already have our answer that this coaching staff doesn't know how to develop Fields. And if they don't believe in Fields and they want to move on and get a different quarterback, if you're Ryan Poles, you cannot trust this coaching staff to develop the next quarterback. So whether it's Fields or the next quarterback, these coaches cannot be in charge of getting the most out of either one.
I don't disagree with that logic.
Yeah.
And I believe you've just answered Ben Wonderlick's super chat for $4.99. He said, so fire sale tomorrow, Eberflus and the whole staff gone tomorrow? Yeah, we don't
No
think
chance.
that's going to happen.
0.0.
Yeah.
All right, Nathan Martinez, $4.99. At the very least, we have our backup of the future. Now the question is, do we have our starter of the future with Fields?
Yeah, we got to find that out now. I mean, Fields, I hope he comes back against the Saints. You got 9 games left on the schedule. You got to take the most of this opportunity.
Yep.
To see what he is, what he can still do.
He has to elevate his game,
Yep.
1, and 2, he has to show he can stay healthy.
Yep.
Because if he gets hurt again, that's also a big part of this whole decision they have to make.
Absolutely.
He also should be selfish and think about himself and not put himself on the field until he's right.
Right, because he can only do himself damage.
And that's where I wondered. You asked me that question a couple minutes ago. Do I think the decision's already been made on Flus? I do sometimes wonder if the decision's already been made on Fields.
That's another really interesting
especially
question.
the just the way that Vikings game, from the first play of the game where he didn't make the throw to later in the game when he holds on to it for 6 seconds and he gets himself hurt because of it. Because to your point, Braggs, the health has to be a part of the equation.
Yep.
It absolutely does. And if he can't protect himself because he holds on to the ball too long, that goes beyond just the fundamental problem of holding on to the ball too long.
Well, here, let me ask you this. Luke Getsy gets up there and he talks about the first play in the Vikings game and that Justin didn't throw the football. He called him out on it. All right. Tonight, people are talking about that Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico, mainly Collinsworth, were saying so many nice things about Tyson Bagent.
Yeah.
Which people are speculating that came from the Bears. So here we've got Getsy calling out a play. They're on Sunday night TV. There's a lot of flowers being sent at Bagent. They're telling the story. Even when the things are going sideways, they're still telling the story. Does that lead you to believe further your point that they've made a decision there? Or am I going too far just trying to – I'm not even going anywhere. I'm just, is it not worth bringing up those tea leaves?
I mean, I don't – it's not like they're going to sit in those meetings and say bad things about Bagent.
Right. It's a feel-good story. He's the underdog.
I think that was NBC's production. Production. Whatever that noise was.
That was an Olipop.
Freaked me out. That is Nick. It's the machine letting us know that Nick is in the building. But I want to do one more super chat before we get to Nick. Farming Bear is back with another $49.99.
You don't have to be lonely when
guesses.
Farming Bear is super chatting.
He says Getsy guesses on what game plan is going to work and doesn't adjust. Eberflus refuses to change the style. Fields was better under Nagy. Worst thing a person can say.
That's not the first time we've heard that.
Ugh.
His last 3 games under Nagy, they were almost all 300-yard games. That is a fact.
All right. Well, let's should we bring Nick in? Should we want?
Let's bring him in.
All right, Nick. Let me get you in.
It's not just that he can't adjust. He has one way he wants to run the offense.
Right there.
Good offensive coordinators know many ways to run an offense.
All right, Nick. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, Nick.
There he is, Nick.
How you guys doing?
Help us out. We need lots of answers.
How much candy did you eat?
I haven't even finished my first thing of Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, you're so healthy.
All right.
Come on, Nick.
Start with
Live a little.
Start with Flus. Nick, what do you have to say for himself tonight?
Well, I asked him straight up why only DJ Moore got 1 target in the second half. Like, a guy like that shouldn't be getting 1 target regardless of what the score is. And he said, well, have to go watch the film. Maybe they blanket him with coverage over the top, but he has to really go back and watch that. It's like, you don't know what they're doing to take away DJ Moore? Like, I don't like that answer, you guys. Like, Tyson Bagent talked about how, that's a guy that he thinks is a world-class athlete, one of the best in the world. You need to find ways to get him to the ball. And I asked Tyson Bagent the same exact question, how he only gets 1 target. And he told me that, it's never a good thing, and how the game flows is what something Eberflus also said. But there were a couple that he could have given DJ Moore an opportunity in that second half. And, it's not the only reason why this game got away, but I think it's, one of the part of the many, issues with what's going on in this current Bears team.
Yeah, I have to look at the film as an acceptable answer on 1 play where you haven't been able to see a replay yet. It's not an acceptable answer to explain something that happened for an entire half of the game. You got to be able to see things from upstairs, get feedback from your coaches, make adjustments. I agree with you, Nick. That's a concerning answer. How about the interception? Did Tyson Bagent provide any answers on what happened with that interception where it looked like he was targeting DJ Moore, even though it also sort of looked like an overthrow of Mooney?
Yeah, he said there's just some miscommunication on that play that ultimately led to, what looked like just a clear giveaway to the defense there. But he said there was just some miscommunication. When I was here at the stadium, I watched Darnell Mooney, and he went over and talked. Justin Fields spoke to him. Then Mooney went over and talked to DJ Moore for a little bit. So obviously something was just not right on that play, and that's why it looked like it was such a clear giveaway. But yeah, there was just some miscommunication on that one.
That's what I figured was going on there. Hey, back to Flus before we get too far away from him, Nick. Did he say anything along the lines of, I did not have my team ready to play and our fundamentals make me sick?
Well, he said when you bring up the word fundamentals there, Mark, and Eberflus was asked, like, why all the missed tackles? And he went back to not that the team wasn't ready, but, it does take the fundamentals. But, you hear Tyreek Stevenson in the locker room saying that, they've been working constantly on the fundamentals. But on a Sunday night, it didn't show that, you guys. There were missed tackles on all levels of this defense, defensive line, linebacker, secondary. So, that's what Eberflus identified as the one thing that maybe resulted in the missed tackles. But the fundamentals, guys, they've been working on the fundamentals since week 1. Like, it hasn't, at this point, something's not connecting between the players, the coaching, and obviously what we're seeing on game days. So that was the one thing that he kind of mentioned for why maybe the missed tackles were so frequent in this one.
It's like when he said earlier this season that they were working with Edmonds on lowering his pad level.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you spent $80 million on a linebacker and you think he tackles too high?
That's not good.
Like what? There's just bizarre stuff like that. What else from these defensive guys? I know you talked to or go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to go back to Bagent because I asked him, I don't know what you guys thought about the 4th and 2 play where Bagent, they're on the opposite hash throwing to Darrington Evans for, a play where you need to have it. Bagent was saying that they doubled up DJ Moore on that play and that Tyson just needs to get the ball out there quicker, get the timing there for Evans, who has a lot of space. But to be fair, if they're doubling up DJ Moore, I don't know if Darrington Evans is your best second option for a 4th and 2, got to have it type of play. So just feel like the design on that one is just weird in itself, and you're targeting Evans on a very crucial part in the game.
I mean, that's something Hoge's been harping on while we watch these games is when the fullback is your first option. Evans, you're saying there is your second option in crucial moments. Too often do you see that.
That being said, though, I do agree. If he gets that ball out faster, it's a first down. And instead, it was almost an interception, and regardless, it was a turnover on downs.
Did Nick just were you drinking a beer there, Nick? Are you enjoying the after beers? Is that what's happening?
Hey, they have beers over here. Patrick Finley's like, Nick, maybe it's because I'm a little older, but I'm going to take this beer back to my hotel room. I'm like, you do you, Finley. I'm going to drink this coffee and, get this work done.
Coffee. Okay, so you're not drinking a beer.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
Wait, and Pat's saying he's not going to drink the beer until he gets back to the hotel room?
Yeah, I think he's gone.
I mean,
I think he's taking the hotel.
Finley likes to just strip down and oil himself up and then start drinking in the hotel room. That's what
Whoa.
I heard.
Wow.
Whoa.
I'm just backing up, Brad.
Bears after dark all of a sudden.
Hey,
It is
Finley after
11:42
dark.
p.m.
Yeah.
hey, Nick, did Bagent look defeated?
So he was in his locker room, you guys.
Um,
So he was in his locker. Well, in the locker room, it's a weird structure. I'll say that for SoFi. But Bagent was the only guy where usually the quarterback's going to be at. He just sat there looking down. Kind of, he has some bracelets that he was looking at. No one talked to him. No one went over there. And then obviously went on to do his press conference. But he did look like a guy that, just they lost 30-7, or whatever the score ended up being. But it looked like it weighed on him when he was just sitting there at his locker by himself, Carm. But I think he handled it well in the press conference and did the best he could after such a devastating defeat.
Our GM here, so he looked as deflated as Carm has for most of the show.
That's where I was trying to go with that. Yeah.
Look, if we were trying to turn this season around, they needed to win tonight, and the backup quarterback, my guy TV17, needed to play well, and it just didn't happen. So it's not a good night for the Bears. Ain't a good night for anybody.
And Carm, yeah.
And me.
Question from Jake Flanagan, Nick. He's wondering about the missed tackle that TJ Edwards had on Eckler that led to the touchdown.
Yeah, and really, TJ Edwards, he was speaking for himself, but he didn't play up to his standards. And also, he said back to the fundamentals. And if we're, connecting dots here, like if you're going back to the fundamentals are not being executed here on Sunday. So, yeah, he knows he didn't play his best game, and it was that missed tackle that led to a touchdown. The touchdown before the half that Tyreek Stevenson missed on the tight end. So these kept occurring, but he definitely wasn't happy about how he played tonight.
I mean, to me, the good medicine for Tyson Bagent last week was a good run game. And maybe it's just as simple as this game getting out of hand quickly. But still, 17-7 at one point right before the half, trying to establish a run. They really couldn't do that here tonight. Did you get any reasoning why they couldn't really establish a run and play ball, time of possession and ball control a little more?
Yeah, Greg, I'm glad you asked that because I got a chance to ask Cole Kmet about he was talking about the physicality not being here tonight. And I asked him why didn't that carry over from a very physical game the Bears played against the Raiders where they were able to run the football like you were just mentioning, Greg. And he just said it didn't come with us from Chicago. He thinks that is their identity on offense. And they didn't carry it into this game. And he said that they should be carrying that physicality every single game they go to, but he didn't feel like it was there tonight. And so I think that was telling with how this game played out, but that run never got established. So it's interesting that I think Cole was saying on our, CHGO Bears podcast that it seemed like the Raiders were a little jet lagged or a little tired going from West Coast over to Chicago. I wonder, do the Bears feel something similar? But he just didn't feel like the physicality was there at all in this matchup tonight against the Chargers.
Nick, did Flus have anything to say about that first play of the game where play got whistled dead and probably shouldn't have been?
So I got a little bit late into the Flus presser. I don't know if he was asked about that, but he wasn't asked for the portion that I was there. Cole Kmet was asked about the play that got stopped dead for him on the 3-yard reception, and he said that he wished they'd let that play go, but he said that there was a situation his rookie year against the Saints where I guess they kept the play going and he ended up fumbling, but they should have blown the play dead. But really, he said they're doing that, the refs, to protect the players so they don't get those kill shots. But yeah, it seemed like in this one, you guys, the refs were a little early on the whistle, and there were some big plays that could have happened. And the one for Cole Kmet, they end up getting that touchdown later. But yeah, there were some opportunities missed there.
I do remember that play Cole's talking about, where they probably should have blown it dead. He was being pushed straight backwards toward the sideline, then ended up fumbling because he's always fighting for yard. By the way, that's one thing Cole has improved. Early on in his career, he had fumble issues, he had drop issues, he wasn't making tough catches, and now he's pretty damn reliable.
Cole played a great.
There's a nice play, guys, on the right portion of the field where the DB goes low, and it's just like a standstill. And then Cole just keeps moving the legs and goes to get the first down for, Bagent there. But yeah, I think you definitely have seen Cole kind of add that to his game, which is obviously great to see.
All right, Nick, anything else before we let you go?
No, guys, but if you don't hear from me, it's because I definitely got locked in this stadium, because I'm going to tell you, coming up back to his press box, it was kind of a journey for me, Johns, a couple of the other media guys. So if you don't hear from me, just know I'm still in the stadium somewhere.
Well, you got plenty of candy up there to eat.
Nick,
You could survive for a few days up there.
Yeah.
Candy and beer. Let's do
Candy
it.
and beer. It's Halloween.
Nick, tell Tyson Bagent if you see him, it's going to be all right, and keep his head up, okay?
I will definitely tell him that if I see him.
Give him a hug and whisper in his ear,
And if-
secret Bagent.
And if you see Luke Getzey, please ask him to cross off the Trent Taylor end around play.
Yeah, do that.
Oh
too.
my God! What was that, you guys? Let's run the end around to Khalil Mack when Larry Bourne's supposed to be blocked. What the? Oh my God! That pissed me off right from the very beginning.
The second play of the game, right there at the top of the script that they walked through all week. That's the one they wanted.
Let's do it. Taylor, he's going to run over back. We're going to be Bears.
Why?
Nick, good stuff.
We miss you. I'll see you. I'll hopefully see you when I see you.
You'll get out of there hopefully by the time your flight leaves. All right, Nick. We'll be following you. Follow him on Twitter at Nicholas Moriano. All his written coverage up at allchgo.com. He'll have plenty of that coming from Los Angeles.
Next up, Casey Standahar with a recap of everything that happens.
She's going to do her
At
own hour
Fireplace Inn,
post-game
yes.
show.
She'll be doing, it's the Bears post with Casey.
Casey After Dark.
Yeah, Casey After Dark. And when you're listening to Casey After Dark, make sure you're hitting up the Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary using the code CHGO25 for 25% off. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your football season. No matter where you are on your cannabis journey, easy online ordering and in-store pickup, great transparent loyalty program, Sunnyside Rewards. Make sure you hit that up. Illinois' favorite dispensary. Go over, hit up the one over in Wrigleyville right after they sign Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani.
How about both?
Where's Cody
How about
Delmendo?
both?
Thanks to Cody for coming
Cody
out tonight.
Delmendo came on out and gave the vibes. Best tasting gummy. The Mindy's is the best tasting gummy and chocolate edibles created by James Beard, award-winning chef Mindy Siegel and Cresco Labs. Do not laugh at me. Do not laugh at me. Don't hit the button. I'm getting through this. They have a lot of just good options. High Supply offers quality weed that's always available. Buds are expertly grown, lab tested, available in vape carts, vape pens, flour, popcorn shake, pre-rolls, shorties, and concentrates. They have it all, ladies and gentlemen. So through October 31st, which is coming up on Tuesday, spooky season is upon us. Head to sunnyside.shop and use the code CHGO25 for checkout for 25% off your total order one use per customer, not stackable with other promotions. That's only for new customers. Anyone can use our code.
It's not only for new customers.
That's not only for new customers. Anyone can use our code. My eyes are,
It's just not stackable, but yeah.
It's not stackable.
One-time use.
Not only for new customers. Pick up everything you need to elevate your football season. Must be 21 or over on Illinois Med card holder. Use the code CHGO 25 for 25% off at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensaries.
Just got the schedule for the Bears practice this week. There's a little interesting nugget here. They're not going to practice on Wednesday.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Then they have tomorrow off, which is understandable. They're coming back. As you mentioned a few minutes ago, they're going to get home at like 5 a.m. Coming back from the West Coast. So they'll have Monday off, Tuesday off, and then they're basically just going to have a walkthrough on Wednesday, not a full practice. So great way to fix all those fundamental issues Flus was talking about.
Maybe they can practice some of that technique on the airplane. You know what I mean? Like when Russell Wilson was in the middle of the aisle, maybe they can start working on. I mean, hey, you're kind of in a box. You can't get around Larry Borum if there's an aisle. You know what I mean?
TJ Edwards work on his tackling.
If somebody's still getting by Larry Borum and you're in the middle of the aisle on the plane, then that's something you need to review.
Okay.
They're going to talk to their performance specialists who helped them get through the preseason and told them to never practice and that they would never get hurt, except everybody got hurt. That's the guy that they're dealing with who's got the plan here. This team doesn't need to practice on Wednesday, even though they're 2-6 and the coaching staff and everybody else's career is basically on the line here.
Look, I get it. Like it's a tough week coming back from the West Coast after a night game, and you have to play at noon again on the road. Practice, man. You got Monday and Tuesday off. Just practice. Like, it's fine.
You practice. You don't have to kill them.
Yeah, you can't practice fundamentals in a walkthrough. Walkthrough is just mental reps of where you're supposed to be.
And that's the thing, and that's why the big question is Justin Fields going to come back or not next Sunday against New Orleans, because New Orleans defense is better than the Chargers defense. I know the Chargers offense might be better than the Saints, but Tyson Bagent will be in for another long day down in New Orleans, a tough environment.
That's what you think.
Yeah, that's what we all think.
Yeah, that's what
I think.
That is what I think.
Yeah, and you don't think that, but that's because you're crazy. Why don't you just weekend at Bernie's the rest of the show, put some sunglasses on and go to sleep?
It's past his bedtime.
It's way past your bedtime.
He does his shows at noon usually.
Yeah,
He usually goes to bed at about 7.
Somebody get this guy a bagel. Put him right to bed. The bagel lullaby.
Let's not.
I could go for a bagel right about.
Let me tell you something. You need to slow down, have less thoughts, and fewer.
I need to have less thoughts.
Fewer thoughts would be good. Yes.
Still listening.
And just chill out. You should take my lead. Close your eyes and do some kumbaya.
Do a poll in the chat. Who thinks Carm should go to sleep? Chris, $99.99 super chat. We appreciate Kiss. He keeps bringing the heavy hitter. Chris,
this is the new Duke.
Duke, who? Maybe this is Duke. You never know.
Duke was Chris, and Chris was Duke.
And he doesn't realize he's on his regular account and not his Duke burner.
Is that on his burner?
Chris, $100 super chat. Bagent seems like at least a legit backup NFL quarterback and pro, maybe better with good coaches that they do not currently have. Fields needs good coaches and another real weapon, a Kelsey type or a Tyreek Hill would be ideal. It certainly would, Chris. But I know they aren't really strapped for. But I know they are really strapped for cash.
I think the Bears should trade for Travis Kelce by Tuesday.
If the Bears got Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, I think even Tyson Bagent might set the world on fire. You think he's top 5 in completion percentage if he had those two guys?
You are no longer allowed on anything that Bagent does well for the rest of his career. You are out.
See, this is how we always live in this world of hyperbole.
But
I'm not hating on Bagent. I'm being realistic about who he is.
You're picking at an open wound, and I'm telling you.
I'm messing with you, of course.
What he's doing is he's hating on you loving Bagent.
Exactly. And that's why I'm telling you, you're no longer allowed.
Yeah, but you know what? Whatever. I don't care. You can have it.
Because
anytime I try to make any kind of just balanced analysis, you give me this zombie dead look eyes.
That's what I do.
All right, speaking of
That
that,
is what-
CBP film,
That's not
$5.
It's more like this.
That was pretty good. That's the look. That's the look.
CBP film,
Here, look at the
$5.
replay. Here it comes.
He does suck, and he was horrible. Secret Bagent, man. I need y'all to have the same energy for Bagent y'all had for Fields. I hear excuses.
No one has given more energy to Fields at this show.
Yeah,
we have a
seriously.
QB
That is
slide
so
shirt.
lazy.
We did stand with Fields. We have massaged his backside as much as you could possibly do it.
Huh?
Dude,
I didn't do that. I was with you until that part.
we have. We have.
His butt?
Yes.
His buttocks?
We
massaged his buttocks?
followed him around at the Super Bowl and begged him to come on the show. I gave him the greatest fist
Nick
pound
did.
ever. Yeah, I mean, come on. Don't.
That's what I mean. It's a world of hyperbole. If I try to be balanced about who Tyson Bagent is, I'll have this dude in the chat saying I'm hating on
You hate
Bagent in
Fields.
his second career game, or if
Carm
we
hates
say
Fields.
any kind of criticism
No,
towards
I
Fields or questions about his future here with this franchise, it's you hate Fields and what did you do? It's like you just can't win. It's on
Right.
both extremes.
Next question.
Farming Bear, $49.99
I like
again.
Farming Bear.
He's getting a song. This guy's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's the Farmer's Only song. Anyway,
Farming Bear.
Where's
Bear.com.
Kadek? Did he leave?
Yeah, he snuck out and didn't say goodbye to anybody.
he just said he's going to post the pod for you later, so you're lucky.
Oh, that's good.
Anyways, Farming
Did an
Bear.
Irish goodbye.
Shish.
Bragg's used to
Yannick
that.
has had 8 sacks a year until this year. Clearly just a player drop off. Carm, you need to elevate your expectations. Tyson's ceiling is at best what Kirk Cousins, John's guy.
Okay. I love people that just know his ceiling after 2 starts. Come on, Farming Bear.
You know what, though? You did the same thing before he had his first start. And a lot of the things I was trying to point out to you that you gave me those dead eyes about have
Dead eye.
happened so far.
Deadeye.
The
Like
dead
what?
eye.
Like what?
Like I
What's
told you, they
happened?
were going to have a playbook that was limited. They were going to give him easy reads.
Okay.
They weren't going to ask him to.
The limited playbook. Did you know in the limited playbook they were going to throw a bomb on the first play of the day?
Okay,
Did you know that?
that's not really like that. That's a one read,
That was
3-step
that was a
drop.
go ball.
Yeah, it's like that's not an extensive play there. I mean,
okay.
Jesus Christ, you're trying
okay.
way too hard with this.
All right, we
I'm
can
not
just
trying at
rip
all.
through these. We
Yeah.
can just
We're gonna
these
rip
and then,
through it.
Falling
Could you just mute
and then
their
we'll-
mics and then keep reading
Yeah,
the
then we'll
super
Tell
chat?
him to go to sleep.
toss them over the side. All right, so this is not a
There you
fun one.
go.
We don't even have to just talk about this, but Matt W says, fire everyone, kick the Bears out of Chicago. They don't deserve to be Chicago's team. My dead grandpa had more of a pulse than the Bears tonight. Thank you, Matt.
Wow.
You Country Club Hills is hot
we did
after.
that
Maybe
one
they'll go
already.
there.
I'm not going there for games.
All right,
I refuse.
Solid Angle, $5. Flus fielded a Division II defense tonight. Ouch. Patrick Metz, $5. Why can't we have nice things? This is so depressing. Watching a defensive-minded coach with a horrible defense. Woof. I added the woof. That's on me.
Just for the record, we love every single one of you. Seriously, you're the best. Thank you for supporting the show.
Caleb Straight, $4.99. Keep the same energy. Bagent played like shit. Bagent looked like how Fields has looked with the same coaching. Common denominator, coached.
It says couching.
I know, but that's fine. He also said for $1.99, defense sucked. You're right, but Bagent put up 7.
We don't like everybody.
13.
13.
We don't like everybody.
Max
I don't like Sam
Parker.
Kinsley.
Max Parker. Did anyone else see? It looked like Flus had a tear going down his face. The camera came tight on his face, and it looked like a tear.
Did you know that the Bears held Austin Eckler to 1.9 yards per carry tonight?
That's because he had 3,000 yards receiving.
Oh, yeah. Because that's
Um,
what you do when you're playing a good run defense. You
That's-
run screens.
SPR, a little $5 Canadian. The coaching is absolutely pathetic. Offensive play calling, defensive play calling, pathetic. Fire Matt Eberflus. They have no idea what the F they are doing.
I'll tell you one thing about that part of it. Getsy Sir stands like he knows what he's doing. I've never seen a more confident guy in my life.
Good standard. Good
The
standard.
guy's the most
He comes
confident.
into that press conference every Thursday, too, the same
Yeah.
way.
Look
Look
at my Sunkist. Aren't they great?
I give him
I
credit.
love Sunkist.
They lose by 30 or win by 30. He is the same guy in that press conference.
How's
every week.
everybody doing? How we're doing? We're doing terrible. We got to cover this team.
Christian Gutierrez. If we draft Jalen Carter, we complain that they aren't building around Fields. We draft Wright, then we have to complain that we didn't draft Carter. It's the coaching. Brian Colors. Bears need to offer Howie Roseman a stake in the franchise and pray he'll leave Philly. Oof. Sergeant Matt Kind. Guys, the Chargers X account roasted us. Okay. I still call that Twitter. Why did I read what it said there?
The
fantasy-
Chargers.
Yeah, I want to see that tweet. I keep seeing
It's
it. Pop
it's
up.
from. I'm sure you guys have never seen this movie, but it's from Starship Troopers.
One of my
Sure.
favorite movies.
You're a liar.
I've heard of it.
I love Starship Troopers.
You're such a lying sack of
Is,
shit.
fantasy contrarian. Does the absolutely embarrassing lack of pass rush make Chase Young a must pick up before the trade deadline? Ugh.
No.
Okay. Derek Owens. Justin was practicing making the play calls that were going into Bagent from the OC. That's why he's saying that's why the headset was up, I believe, is what he's suggesting
that's
there.
probably actually the answer. That was really smart.
That's cool.
Derek Owens. Thank you very much.
Good job, Derek.
That was real. Thank you.
So you're telling me that
I
he
don't
was
know why I didn't think of that.
So he was.
I just
So he's hearing the plays going
and
in,
he's yes.
and he's speaking them out. Just
Yeah.
how he would deliver them.
But he had cool shades on. YouTube user.
That's a good level of
$4.99.
engagement right there.
We threw a pass to a fullback for our 2-point conversion. That's everything you need to know about Getsy.
Carm's back on Fields, by the way, after that super chat.
That does excite me.
Yeah.
Those glasses and that level of talking in the air.
Oh, the negativity is in the air. Jason McKenna, $5. The only thing worse than the Bears' play so far has been Ryan Poles' draft selections and trades. Ugh. Derek Owens, $5. If I'm Warren, Poles being willing to fire Eberflus would be the only way Poles could possibly save his job. Willie Beeman, $5. Until we sell the team, nothing will change. I literally have no emotional attachment to this team anymore. I've given up all hope. Just beaten down.
That's how I feel about the White Sox.
Yikes. Wyatt Thomas. Can we mention getting saved by the clock when Larry Borum had a false start when we were clearly trying to get the Chargers to jump? What the fuck, dude? Okay, Wyatt. Yep, agree there.
Well, and also, it looked like Bagent went up there and told the center and nobody else.
Yeah, that seems like a problem. The fantasy contrarian,
It's a
another
secret.
499 Bagent man. How many more losses until the tank officially begins? Also, this is my first time super chatting, but loyal subscriber from Largo, Florida. Thank you, fantasy contrarian.
All right,
Key Largo.
Montego.
Wait, seriously.
baby,
How many more
Montego.
losses until the tank officially begins? Do we know? What do we think? We're 2
I've
and
been
6
focusing
now.
on it for 4 weeks. Adam almost killed me.
Yep, there we go. All right, and Andrew,
That's true.
$4.99. This staff holds no one accountable. Velas has had too many chances. Flus is really soft, and that's the last super chat I have to read tonight. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Should I show Carm how to chug a beer?
Yeah,
That's a half
maybe
a
you
beer,
drank
but-
half of
Well,
it, so I
yeah.
don't know if that counts.
How about this? Matt Eberflus said that Darnell Mooney needed to be convincing immediately sprint to the end zone. That was the problem on the bomb. That
I
wasn't-
actually agree with him on
Yeah,
that.
100% agree.
Mooney did not get up like he thought he was.
Yeah. Not touched.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got up like confused. Am I good? Am I not? And you just need to get up and run. And I don't know if that impacted the referee blowing the whistle or not, but it didn't help. I agree with Flus on that one.
Okay, I think it's a little. Yeah. Okay, fine.
We can
I'm-
You don't
I'm-
wait,
I'm-
wait,
I'm-
wait, 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 wait. So you're arguing that if he didn't get touched, he's excused for not immediately getting up and
No,
running?
I take it back. Flus is right. I'm wrong.
Right, like the AJ
up.
Pierzynski drop third strike.
That's
like
Sell
run to
it.
first.
Sell
Sell
it.
it.
Sell it.
Two
Nice
years
callback.
ago
It's a throwback.
in that same stadium on
to
Sunday
an
Night
argument
Football,
we just had.
they gave up a 69-yard touchdown to Van Jefferson because they didn't touch him
Yeah,
down.
that was great.
That was 2 years ago in that same
Yeah, but
stadium.
it gets tiring that the refs don't understand the concept of let the play go through. When once you
Right.
blow it dead,
Yeah, I
there's
agree.
nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
And they're taught to do that, so that's bad.
Yep.
It's really bad when they screw it up like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
All right. A lot of people to thank here tonight. Awesome atmosphere here at Fireplace Inn. We thank you, everybody,
Fireplace.
here for their hospitality.
Thank you. We know we were past your bedtime. I think. Is anybody
Yep,
else
it
in there?
is. It's gone. Everyone's
Yeah.
gone.
Everyone's
It's us.
gone.
Yeah.
Hey.
And of course, everybody
Phil.
involved in making this happen. Goose Island, Jake Flanagan, Kevin Cada, Casey Standahar was here, Lawrence Benedetto, Joey Spathis. Who else am I thinking? Spathis.
Whatever you want. Is
Oh,
cool.
he can't be that way. You can't be like Eloy Jimenez where he's like, hey, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So it's Spathis.
Spathis.
Spatha's the goat.
Okay, that's a loaf.
Spathis of the goat.
Yeah.
Now it's past my bedtime.
It is past everyone's bedtime. It's past midnight. We'll be back in 12 hours. Give us a like, please, before you leave. I still see there's 1,900 people watching.
Crystal.
Come on,
Bruce
y'all.
Carman. Dave
Please.
Carman. Who else?
The entire Carman family.
The entire Carman family.
Yeah, everyone that was here. Everyone
Papa Hoge.
Total anarchy. Carmen's never looked so old. Go to bed, old man.
Okay. You go to bed. I'm not.
These night games are rough on him.
Everybody relax.
I will
Kevin,
be in
give him a break.
Spaces on my way home, but
Kev-
it'll be around 2 a.m.
Kevin, Maddie, Mo, Randy, Brian, BZ, Braden, Ben, Gianna.
There we go. Farming Bear.
Ben Ski
Farming
Hat.
Bear. Another 1999.
What?
Who's Ben Ski Hat?
Ben ski
The
hat.
guy
That's what he was
Ben
wearing.
was wearing the ski hat. Gianna, DJ, the DJ Moore number 2 was Braden.
Are those Carbs notes tonight?
These are Carm's notes tonight. That's
Okay.
right.
Ben was yelling things a lot tonight. Love Ben. Farming Bear, 1999. Getsy equals the greatest car salesman of all time. Hook him up with Ray. Carm, $1,000 bet
Ray
right now.
Scarpelli. Thanks to Ray. He was in the
Yeah,
chat
but Ray
tonight.
has the price promise.
Hey,
The Bears don't have
Carm,
any price promise. They just-
$1,000 bet right now that Tyson doesn't have a better career than Cousins.
$1,000.
Go for it. You and Farming Bear. I think
Do
you
it.
should
You
shake
scared?
on that.
$1,000 bet that Tyson doesn't have a better career than Kirk Cousins. Had one of the best careers.
Yeah, he's trying to get you to say Bagent will have a better career than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that's in Farming Bear. You're not giving enough respect to what Kirk Cousins did. Kirk Cousins had 34 touchdown passes and 7 interceptions last year, did he not?
Something like that. And another one from Mark Pearson, 499. Flew all the way from Maui to see my hometown team look like ass. Looks like there's no QB controversy, but SoFi Stadium is amazing.
I hate to say that, but that's on you. Good effort.
Thanks, Mark.
Well, Mark,
Yeah.
my Purdue Boilermakers will be
You
in
deserve
Maui
better.
in November, and you can go watch a good team.
They will actually be in Honolulu.
I know, but they call it the Maui
That
Invitational.
got moved.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
No one cares
great.
The
about your
Badgers won the Maui
Boilermakers.
Invitational in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, whatever. This is a football show.
Please hit the like on your way out. We love you all. Thank you so much for watching.
We are all going to turn on each other now that college basketball season is
All
upon
right.
us.
We are. I thought I handled myself very well at the combine during that Purdue Wisconsin game.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we're back in 12 hours, almost exactly. A little bit less than 12 hours.
No
and
meeting.
Cat-
No meeting.
All
Braggs
right,
wants
all
the
right.
8 a.m. meeting canceled.
All right, I'm gonna just shut you guys
No,
up.
don't, because I have to promote. Ken Mistroli's coming on the show tomorrow, right at noon. He is Tyson Bagent's private quarterbacks coach. He will be with us tomorrow. Braggs wants no meeting, even though he's not even doing
No
the show.
more meetings. I'm kidding.
Wow.
Soft. Soft. I'll be there 8 a.m.
Okay, me too.
Thank you. I'm up. I'll be up at 5.
We'll be back here. Well, not here at Fireplace Inn. We'll be back in our CHGO.
Car will. He's going to
Yeah.
belly up
Sleep.
at the bar.
That's
drink
right.
his sorrows away.
We'll talk to you tomorrow at noon.
We all silly like the mayor.